Hey guys, again, I'm going to be doing a response video to Count Blackguard and Luke Hammerhart for favorite album covers. This is all pretty last minute. I mean, it's already nearly like 1 o'clock right now, but I have enough energy and I figured this should be fun, so let's do it. So I'm just gonna try to get these albums out of the way as quickly as I can because there's a lot, and I've chosen from a variety of different bands. Let's start with Amorphous with Tales from the Thousand Lakes. This isn't necessarily my favorite album, but man, look at that! The waterfalls, the rock formations, the sky. It's beautiful. And it's definitely one of their best covers. I also really love Eclipse right here. After coming off of Far From the Sun, it's really refreshing to see an album like this because it's basically like seeing the band revitalize itself, and that's always awesome. It's really cool. Here is Silent Waters right here. It's a very enchanting cover. I love the swan right there, the woodlands, and the river, the silent waters. Yeah, that's another great cover. And this is my favorite album by them. This is Skyforger. I love the tree. I love the orange flames right there. It's like it's rising out with divine powers, and it's a very uplifting picture. Like every time I listen to this album and look at the album cover as I'm watching, it's a very uplifting experience. I think it's just pure epicness. Now for this next band, I love like almost all of their artwork, but this is by far their best album cover in my opinion. This is Blind Guardian with A Night at the Opera. I mean, look at that. It's got the choirs, it's got the instrumentalists, it's got the composer right there. There's even some trolls in the background. It's all cramped together. It just shows how like big and bombastic this album's gonna be, because that's what the album cover is. You could really tell that this is gonna be like one epic thrill ride just by looking at the cover itself. And yeah, the album itself is one of my favorites of all time, so that shows. Now this band right here is my favorite band of all time, so it kind of figures that I show the most artwork from these guys. I love every single cover they've ever done, and well, I love every album they've ever done, but these are the album covers right here that I was impressed with the most. One of them is missing. I can't really show it here, but I have a little segment at the end of this video which I'll cover a good portion of my favorite album covers which I don't own. Or I do own this particular one, I just don't have it on me right now. So let me just get to the ones in which I do have, and I'll talk about that one at the end of this video. Here is their first album right here, Dance of December Souls. And this is like one of my top 5 favorite album covers of all time. It's so haunting, so mysterious. I mean, right when I looked at this album cover, I had a good feeling of what this album would sound like. Oh, and I also love the skull in the back. That's really cool. But yeah, I love the purple smoke. I love the very melancholic, desolate-looking faces on the band members right there. That's fucking awesome. Here is Discouraged Ones right here. This is one of my absolute favorites by the band. This is obviously a different edition. The other one's like mostly orange. This edition I actually got in England, and it's still really cool. Just both editions, whether it be inverted or not, it's still fucking awesome. Just either way, it's a very melancholic looking album cover. I mean, just as the album is, but I mean, I just love that figure right there with the wings. It's like he's discouraged to even move on with his life, to actually fly on, and it's just a very beautifully desolate image. Same with this one right here, Night is the New Day. This is actually my first Catatonia album. I got this like 2 years ago or something when I first got into the band, and yeah, I love the nun, or whatever that is right there. It kind of reminds me of like a Black Rider from Lord of the Rings, only it's much more gothic and melancholic, but still, it's really fucking cool. And this is their most recent album right here, which is Dead End Kings. And there's actually like a little panorama right there. Holy shit, that is cool. Again, it's very desolate looking. It's got the deteriorating city right there, and there's actually like really foggy trees and antennas and telephone lines in the background. It's a very desolate image. This is definitely one of my favorite album covers from them. Yeah. Here is Anathema right here with Eternity. I love the angel right there. It provides like a very hopeful image, but at the same time it's a very gloomy and just very dark, depressing mood to it as well. It's like you have hope to achieve salvation, although you never will. Maybe eternity's just not all as it seems. Maybe eternity's not such a good thing after all. I could just tell from like the mood of the album cover. I mean, the angel there is like it's supposed to be a very hopeful image that you could live forever, but maybe living forever, maybe it's just not all that it's cut out to be. But yeah, I love that album cover, love that album. This band right here used to be my favorite band, but I've kind of gotten over them just a little bit, but I still love them. And this is Opeth right here. Gotta love that that bridge right there in the pond. It's very beautiful, very elegantly mysterious image. Here is My Arms Your Hearse. I think this is one of the most desolate images I've ever seen from Opeth. That's saying a lot, but I still love it. I love the trees. It looks like there's a portal to another dimension right there, and what do you know, there's like a mysterious spiritual figure right there, so maybe he's got something to do with it. But yeah, I love that. This is probably my favorite album cover of theirs, Still Life. Yeah, it definitely is my favorite album cover of theirs, hands down. I mean, the reds, the Melinda right there, the cross, it's a very gloomy image. I love it. And here is Watershed right here. I love this guy like working at his like, I'm not sure, I think he's writing philosophy or something, I don't know. But anyway, awesome album cover right there, that's great. This album's probably one of my favorite black metal albums ever made. This is Storm of the Light's Bane by Dissection. I love the mountains, I love the forest, I love the shadowy figure right here. I assume that's Death, telling from the side right there. Yeah, this is one of the most epic images I've seen in any black metal album cover. It's great, definitely. And this album right here is one of, if not my all-time favorite black metal album ever. And this cover is amazing. This is Tolkien with Natasti Serportan Vid. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but anyway, just look at Hoist right there. I mean, it's just very mysterious. He's looking down. It's like he's plotting his next move, like which church to burn next or something. But I just love the look in his eyes and just how he just crosses his hands. It's just very gloomy, very just mysterious and deceptive. It's just another image that I really adore. And now we move on to some classic heavy metal. Right here is Killers. This is one of my all-time favorite portrayals of Eddie right there with the axe. Very, very awesome stuff. And this is, again, one of my favorite portrayals of Eddie as the seventh son of the seventh son. Very, very just wicked killer, awesome stuff. Again, excuse the pun that I said before, but yeah, Iron Maiden, you rule. Now I might as well move into non-metal territory for a bit. This right here is Genesis with Trespass. I love the style of this album. It's very medieval, and there's actually like subtle hints about the track listing featured on the album cover itself, so that I think is really fucking cool. This right here is Nursery Crime. I just love how she's like playing croquet with human heads right there. Again, that's really cool. And here is a trick of the tail. It's not a cover I would typically like, but I don't know, there's something about it that I find to be very whimsical and charming, and yeah, for some reason I just really love that cover. I think it's really, really awesome. And here is Yes with Relayer. I love the towering just rock formations. This is some of the most epic artwork I've ever seen. Really cool stuff. Now I guess I might as well include like a much newer album in here because this one really did catch my attention. This is Portal of Eye by Ne Oblivis Caris. I mean, it's just so surreal. Like, you don't really know what to expect, but you just look at it and you can see so much. When you listen to the album itself, it's very varied for the most part, as is this artwork. You really don't know what to think. You just look at it and wow, you're just amazed at whatever this is. It's one of the most surreal things I've ever seen. And I've decided to include this one in here, not really because of the artwork itself, but like what is contained within the actual booklet itself. And it's just really grown in value for me. This is Time 1 by Winter Sun. I mean, the artwork itself is really fucking awesome, but that's not why I chose this. I mean, I think this is cheating, pretty much, but it's because of the signatures inside, signed by the actual band members themselves, and I really can't stop thinking about this. This really has grown in so much significance for me. It's mind-blowing. The fact that I was able to get Winter Sun to sign this, it has so much symbolic value for me, this album cover, thanks to that. So I felt I had to include that in there. It's pretty mind-blowing. It's not my favorite artwork or anything like that, but mostly just for the signatures itself, really. This right here is Emperor with 9 Equilibrium. I love the really desolate landscape. Like, everything's basically caught on fire. It's like basically the inner depths of hell. Yeah, look at that. That is really cool. It's like raining fire and all that. And I think one of the main reasons why I chose this in particular is because look at Ision's face right there. He's just like, yeah, I'm ready to fucking kill you. Yeah, all the band members look cool, but I mean, Ision right there, damn, that is one hell of a look right there. Yeah, again, that is fucking killer. And here is Over with Shadows of the Sun right there. It's another very bleak and desolate image. It doesn't need to be heavy at all. I mean, the very light and soft melodies, that's heavy enough. It's a very moody album, and this is a very appropriate album cover to suit that. And yeah, it just blows me away every time. And I might as well have saved one of the best for last. This is Celtic Frost with Monotheist. When I look at this image, when I'm listening to the triptych at the end of the album, and when I'm listening to it throughout, but especially the triptych at the end, wow, it just sends shivers. This is definitely one of the most just dank, dark images I've ever seen. Look at his eyes. They just pierce right through your soul. And there's like spiders crawling out of his mouth. Yeah, that's like one of the most perfect incarnations of Satan or whatever this is I've ever seen. The Antichrist? But I don't know, but it's fucking amazing. This is definitely one of the best album covers I've ever seen in my life. It just leaves such an impression. I think that should be it for albums that I physically have with me right now. Let me just list off the ones that I really, really love, but I don't physically have on me right now, or I don't own. Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden is one of my absolute favorite Iron Maiden ones. Fear of the Dark is another one, which I don't own, but I love, or the album cover at least. Blood, Fire, Death by Bathory is one of the most epic images I've ever seen in my life, with the angels and the gods just like up in basically heaven. They're like preparing for war. Yeah, it's one of the most badass epic images I've ever seen in my life. Pornography by The Cure is a very dank, desolate image. It's not heavy metal, but when you look at it, it might as well be. It might as well be like a Catatonia album or something like that. I mean, yeah, it's goth rock, but when you look at it, it's a very depressing image, and it's just awesome. And speaking of Catatonia, I don't have the actual album cover with me right now. I left it back at my mom's house, but Tonight's Decision, I love that cover so much. The album itself is actually, I think, one of the weakest Catatonia albums, but the album cover, I think, is one of their best. Just got this lone man, like, standing on a railway track, and he has this big crow, like, calling out to him, or he's calling out to the crow to come over to him, and, wow, yeah, I love that image. If only I had that on me right now, I would definitely have shown it. I own the album, it's just the album cover itself I left back at my mom's, unfortunately, so I had to include it here. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I know this was very long, but I figured I might as well do. Thank you again, and keep it metal.